welcome to another episode of How to Start a Board Game Company. I'm Jay Cormier from Off the Page Games. This week I wanted to take a look at where does the money go? So I'm going to give you a little in-depth look at how much money it has taken me so far to get to where I am now, a month in advance of the Kickstarter happening. A few caveats so you understand. I'll break it down into money that I think is spent to help with the company and build the company, and money that is specifically needed for a game. Also, I'll say that this is for this game, obviously, and it doesn't mean you need this much money to kickstart any game. My game that I'm kickstarting happens to be a bigger game that has some legacy style packaging, and we're doing a deluxe edition, and so it's a pretty big endeavor right off the bat. But for those of you that just think, oh, I'll just kickstart it and get all my money that way, you do need some money to start a board game. So let's go through. I'll start with all of the company-specific funds that I've put into it so far. So first off, of course, was a logo. I was fortunate enough to find an artist to do my logo for $300. Boom, there's $300. You had to get permits, business permits to sole propriety or limited liability, all these kind of things. For me, where I live, that's $72. Had to get a website started. I have a friend who's a web designer, and he charged me about $500. So $500 for a website, that's pretty good. There might be some more ongoing fees as I continually ask him to change it and update it and tweak it. But right now, to get it started, was $500, so that's nice. I joined the Indie Game Alliance, and this was $340 to join. Now, I probably should have mentioned this at the start. All of these prices are going to be in Canadian dollars. So if you want to know what the American equivalent it is, it's about around 75% of this amount of money. Then I also I'm a G Suite membership, and that's $180 a year for a G Suite membership, so that I can have multiple emails and kind of keep everything organized that way. I also did a Gleam membership for 2 months, so that was $130, and that was so that I could run some contests online and try to generate some traffic and get some newsletter subscriptions, which for sure will help the game, but it's still very company specific. And then I had to come up with pricing and then shipping the prizes. Now, fortunately for me, the pricing I happen to have, I decided to give away previous games that Sen and I have designed. I thought that was kind of a neat idea. And so if you didn't have prizes, you'd have to spend money to get the prizes if you didn't have something for prizes. And then the shipping of the prizes, and that was $300 to ship everywhere. Some people in Germany, and a lot in the States, and some in Canada. But shipping from Canada is very expensive. So if you total all that up, there's the price. That's how much, just from a company's perspective, I've already put into it. So yikes. That's just that. But again, maybe you don't have to do all that stuff. Maybe you can do some of it yourself, save some money here and there. This is what I did. Now let's talk about the game-specific money that I put into it. I'm going to start by talking about the artist. And I was fortunate that I am partnering with Matt Kint on this first game, and he is doing the art and the graphic design, and I'm doing all the businessy Kickstarter stuff. And of course, Sen and I did the design of the game. So I don't have to pay him specifically for that. Going forward, I'll have to pay him a licensing fee to sell anything after Kickstarter, but that doesn't impact this right now, so I'll keep that off. So we'll start off with things like postcard. I created these postcards to hand out that at all the cons that we're going to, that had a pre-promo card attached to it, which is kind of a neat idea, and that cost $240. We also got a banner made up so that when Sen went to Gen Con with Matt Kint for the first demo, that was Canadian $312. That was an expensive banner. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a rush. I can't remember, but it's expensive. For one of those, pull-up banners so people could see, oh, that's where we're going. That's where the demo is. Then on top of that, we had to get another banner. And this is kind of frustrating because Sen was coming to Shucks, and I'm like, oh, just bring your banner. Great. And that's easy. And he's like, oh, because it was only for a weekend, he wasn't going to check any baggage. And if he had to check baggage, it was going to be another $60 to check baggage just to bring it with him. And I'm like, oh, that's annoying. So we found a place to make it for $150 for a new banner. So yeah, I guess in the end it cost $90, but now we have two banners. Sen has one, I have one. He's used it multiple times since then, as have I. So it's, I think, good, but we have two banners, which seems maybe superfluous. So that's maybe where you could save some money. But that's $150. And then the big one is I'm using gamer trays. So this is a huge expense right off the bat, and you only pay half up front and then half later on. But Canadian money, I'm paying about $7,500 for the gamer trays. Now, I'm hoping and I'm thinking that this is going to be worth it, and I'm going to have a deluxe edition that is going to be awesome looking. After seeing my copies of In the Hall of the Mountain King with all the gamer trays, how it's all laid out and how much people are going nuts and gaga over these gamer trays because they are amazing. I'm hoping that they will be worth it, and they're excited to partake in this because it's the first legacy-esque type game that they will have made compartments for or boxes or whatnot for. So I'm excited to see. That might be what my next video is going to be about, because next week I have a meeting with them and they're going to show me what they have. So I'm excited. But that's $7,500. Yikes. A small fee was shipping my prototypes to a couple of my ambassadors. I had a few ambassadors that volunteered to demo the game at cons that I couldn't get to, maybe some smaller cons and whatnot. And that was exciting, but that's only $30. But hey, $30. And then another big expense was getting the samples of the games made. And there was videos on this before about how many should I get and blah, blah, blah. I ended up making 15 of them. And that was wise because I've already sent 13 of them out. And I do want to keep 2 behind for just last minute things that I might need it for. And I actually kept 3 back, and 1 has already been sent out. So I have 2 left, which is going to be great because I have a need for both of those. Anyways, these cost $1,600 Canadian to get 15. So over $100 each it costs to get each one made. Pretty wild, pretty expensive. Hopefully it'll pay off again. All this is hopefully it'll pay off, but that's what that is. And then, unfortunately, I didn't think it through, and I couldn't see through the templates on the place where I ordered them to get these mini comics made, because each of the secret envelopes comes with mini comics. And so I had to do that locally, and that was $100 to get that done locally. Yeah. And then an animated Kickstarter video. So I have that started going, and I thought that would be necessary. Everybody needs a video. I saw, again, the video that they did, Bird Island Games did for In the Hall of the Mountain King, and loved it. And so I'm going with someone there that is making that, and that's going to cost about $1,560. So there's that. Again, you only pay for half of that up front, but then you have to pay half again later. And then I had to pay for shipping of all the samples out to the reviewers, and that cost me $350 to ship out. I ended up shipping 13 different packages around, and one of them got shipped because they were done with it to another reviewer, so I had to pay for that, of course. Then I've also spent money on a rules editor, and I didn't think I would have to do this until we started getting one reviewer who had a lot of questions about the rule book and a lot of misinterpretation, which caused him to play the game wrong. I'm like, oh no. So I had to go in rules editor, and I'm so thankful for it because the guy's done an amazing job of making everything as clear and clean as possible. So that's going to be amazing. Worth it to get a rules editor. Maybe I'll spend another video going through some of the changes that they did, but that was $650. And then spending money to get your Kickstarter video overviews, playthroughs, rules explanations. Can't really call it a review, I guess. Overview is the right thing. And written and videos and all of those things. And I spent another video going through all the people that I sent it to. Man vs. Meeple, Tantrum House, Board Game Spotlight, all of these kind of people. And all of them, of course, charge money, rightfully so. And that costs a lot of money, and that costs about $3,960 or so. So that's that. And the last thing on the list that I haven't invested in yet and will soon is Facebook ads. I'm not sure how much. That could anywhere from a couple hundred to 300, 500, 600, 800. I'm not sure. Probably not that much, but I'm super... I'm a noob at Facebook ads, so I need some help figuring that out. But that's some more money. But even without that, we're already at around $16,500. And total with the company, it's around over $18,000. This, again, is Canadian funds, so times this by 0.75 if you want to figure out what kind of the American rate is. And again, this is for my game, which happens to be a legacy style game with gamer trays and everything, so you can take out a lot of this money for that, and depends how much you want to go to cons and stuff like that. I didn't even put any money into... well, I didn't spend any money, actually, because Shucks was here locally, but I more money that's coming, actually, is I'm going to be going to Emerald City Comic Con during the campaign and demoing the game there. I'm going to Origins Gen Con to demo the game. This is after the Kickstarter, but I'll be there to demo the game for late pledges and whatnot. So there's more expenses coming. It's hard to, some of those are more company based, but also 100% benefiting this game. So there you have it. There's where the money goes. Everything costs money, and we haven't even got into printing the game yet. So this is maybe a good little insight into what it's like to be a publisher, and make sure you have obviously enough money to even start a Kickstarter. Maybe people will do a Kickstarter just so that they can run a Kickstarter. No, that makes no sense. That's it for me. My name is Jay. Thank you for tuning in. See you again next week. Bye bye.